Obvious that the material doesn't belong to me. America, you have a conundrum. If you say that the messages that are meticulously documented over a long period of years and written down in public, if you say that all that intricate material is my doing, then you must glorify me for every single one.
Welcome back to Christiana Flourishing, who will motivate you with God's word. After the faith prophecy from Celestia concerning the United States of America election, she came out again to say a lot of things that does not match up. She has said a lot against the man of God, Pastor Chris Oyakhilome, Prophet Uebert, Edo, Pastor Benny E, and so many other. Prophet T.B. Joshua, named the whole. And here is a good example to know that she's not of God. And her faith prophecy concerning the election in United States of America, that Donald Trump is not going to be the president, neither is going to be Harris that is going to be the president. Now she came out to say this on that page. Then I would like you to see some prophecies that she has said of the prophecy for many years that the woman will be the president of the United States of America and more. Share this video, subscribe, and we'll see you in our next upload. Bye.
And alienate much of the country, because even those who voted Democrat will not see this coming. This is not what they wanted for the next 4 years. However, it will give the girl power movements and the feminist agenda in this country unprecedented fuel for the fire, and a wave of insurgent women will rise across the country. So late last night, I was in prayers, and after I'd finished the prayers and I was about to sleep, the Lord spoke to me so clearly, and he said, tell them these things from me. Tell them that these things will surely come to pass. There is no help anymore. America has surrendered her position. She has been taken over by the dragon. Tell them what I said. Kamala Harris is coming, and with her some of the most dire times in U.S. history. When times are dire, we're looking at famine, flood, the lack of agriculture, the crash of money. Dire means when the human being is put into such severe straits that if you look at every single part of your life, every single part is failing. Every single part is not working. Every single part is a cause for pain. You're losing family members. You're losing friends. People are being buried left, right, and center. There is no work in the economy. There is no money in the economy. There is no economic health. There is no social health. The children are out of control. The children are being taken away by God. When things are dire, it literally means they have come to a point of no hope. God says that when you see Kamala Harris coming into power, she is bringing with her some of the worst times that this nation has ever passed through. He said she will be the president of this country and there's nothing to be done about it. Tell them it will be loss of freedom and loss of life like never before. Tell them from me that America will never be great again, and that decline and economic rot will eat this nation from the ground. Morning, the Lord said to me, I wanted to just look online. I think about noon when I was working, I was thinking, oh, let me check and see how this is going. And the Lord said, do not look at anything related to the election. And I thought, oh, he must mean, you know how it is, you rationalize things in your mind. I thought, oh, okay, maybe I'm supposed to, this is like a test of faith. That's what I thought. Oh, it must be a test of faith. And even more than a test of faith, I thought it's a test of self-control. That is what I thought. You're serving God, you're standing up for God. So obviously you don't have to check the results to show that you're itchy or something like that. So I was like, that's perfectly fine, Lord. And then when the workday was winding down around 6 p.m. and I was thinking maybe I should start heading home and looking into some food because I was fasting the entire day. And then the Lord said to me, when I took my phone, I wanted to take my phone and check again. And the Lord said to me, I said, do not look at anything related to the election. So I found this curious, and I guess I should have picked up on that, but I just thought, oh, okay, that's fine. And I commuted home much later, around 8 p.m., had something to eat and all that. And then I said to the Lord, I think I need to look. Not 8 p.m. It was earlier than that. I said, Lord, I think I need to look. And then I said, Lord, just allow me this one. Okay, just allow me to look. And then I looked and it said 0 and 0. And I was puzzled because I said, what have they been doing all day? What have they been doing all day that they still have 2 zeros there? Why is it 0 and 0? And so anyway, it stayed that way, and I forgot about it, and I was doing other things. And then when I checked, all of a sudden it had moved much later. It had moved to 203 and 210. And then I thought, they did say that it would be hotly contested, but this is not looking like hotly contested. And what I did was I immediately called intercessors. I called the intercessors. I think it would have been maybe 11 o'clock or something. I called them and I said, I think we need to seek God and ask God what is going on. Because when I saw it, before I called them, the Lord laid on my heart, first thing, the image of Moses sitting with his hands up. Moses sitting with his hands up. But the thing is, Moses was sitting by himself in what I saw. Moses wasn't sitting with Aaron on one side and her on the other side. Moses was just sitting by himself with his hands up by himself. And so I thought that a strange image. And I thought that is very strange. But anyway, I'm going to call these people that I pray with, and we need to get on the line, and we need to actually begin to seek the Lord and ask the Lord, what is it that is taking place? This is going very different from what God has said. This is going very different. And I'm questioning myself, because you have to understand that I did not come here and prophesy one time about Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, before I got this compendium of about 40 prophecies, Kamala Harris on her own has at least 15 prophecies to herself. So God has not come and just said in passing, oh, a lady will find her way to the White House. No, the prophecies of Kamala Harris actually stretch from before Kamala Harris was a person that Joe Biden was actually going to pick. Okay, the prophecies for her stick from before then, and then they stick to the fact that when we were at the 2020 election, God was showing this woman and saying, oh no, Joe is coming, but behind him is the real powerhouse. Behind him is the real queen. Behind him is like the sleeper agent that will actually rise. He's taking that person to the White House who's actually going to be the president. And the prophecies have continued for the last 4 years. If you look at the Kamala Harris prophecies, they're actually very intricate and detailed. They speak of the fact that this woman will be a ham-fisted, heavy-handed, executive order leader, that she will not want to work with the people who are in the body of the government. She will not be able to organize well with them. God was showing her as a very kind of bulldozery lady that doesn't look bulldozery, somebody with a very thin skin, somebody who laughs now but will be quite cruel later, somebody who will be what he called the first visible beast system president, a female. Heels in the White House is what you can hear in the prophecy that is called Changes Ahead. So I know these prophecies by heart. Brace for Impact, where she was wearing the earpiece, the woman fulfilled that. She was wearing fake earpieces, fake earbuds, you know, like a kind of whatever you put there, the earpiece, and she was receiving fed information. And there's a video on TikTok that you can see whereby she's talking to an interviewer, and then she suddenly goes, hello, and she has nothing in her actual ear except the earrings. And she starts talking and saying, oh, okay, I'm talking about a recipe now, so can you call me back later when you're ready? And she's talking, you don't see anything in her ear except those earrings. So God was saying that this person would be fed information from someone who is going to arise at the end time of America. So for people to feel that I should backpedal all this material, I absolutely cannot backpedal the material, because it's quite obvious that the material doesn't belong to me. America, you have a conundrum. If you say that the messages that are meticulously documented over a long period of years and written down in public, if you say that all that intricate material is my doing, then you must glorify me for every single one that fulfills. God was putting me in mind today of, I think it's Mark 3, and he was telling me these people are like the Pharisees. They say, this is what America says. America says, it doesn't matter if there's 1,000 prophecies, and it doesn't matter if they all come true. If one fails, then the person is not a prophet. Where did you get that from? I mean, I know that Jesse Duplantis and Marilyn Hickey and T.D. Jakes are the people who taught you. But those people aside, those people cannot be responsible for the way that you are in this nation. They absolutely cannot be blamed 100% for the poorly taught lies that are said as true. Who told you that if God gives someone 600 prophecies, and we have passed at least 40 of them that have happened, and you should be lucky because the other ones contain meteorites, they contain the advent of creatures in the midst of us, they contain the fact that not only has the government confessed that aliens exist, that part has come true, but they also contain the fact that these creatures will come out and the government cannot contain them, and that they will wreak havoc in our midst. Who told you that if somebody gets 600 prophecies and then one of the bricks in the wall you say is a lie, that the entire wall would come down? Who of you working on a farm would be putting up the pickets, and then you put one picket in the ground and it leans and it pulls the wire? Do you run off and get a tractor and come and mow the entire fence down that you've been working on all afternoon? Is that what you do on farms? If you are laying the patio and you have laid 80% of the patio, because I only have a tiny bit of prophecies left, and then you lay a plank, and when you look back, the plank is not laying the way you want, do you run off and get a crowbar and rip up the entire porch? Who told you that? And if that logic is true, why do you still have the people that are on the internet right now? They don't have any prophecies. They only had one prophecy in 2020, and it was a lie. They were all wrong. They were the ones who were misleading you and building up a wall in your heart. How come you still justify them as men and women of God? How come you still believe them? How come you don't apply the same litmus test to them and say, it failed in 2020, none of you can actually speak? Why are you following them 800,000, 400,000, and 600,000 still? Is this not because you are hypocrites? You have no prophecies. They do reaction videos and they tell you the Christian news of the day. But then you say they missed it because they cried the hypocritical tears and they deleted videos, and you sanctioned that. But you want to come here to the back of this porcupine that God has set in your midst and say, we demand that everything come down. I'll tell you why you do that. You're terrified when you see my face, and you are triply terrified when you hear what comes out of my mouth, and you are quadruply terrified when it comes out of my mouth, and then a power that none of us can control goes ahead of me and fulfills the word in your sight, on TV,